Namaste students, welcome back to my channel. Students, in our previous video, we have studied about the Lewis concept of the formation of ionic bond and the formation of the covalent bond. But the main limitation of the Lewis concept was that Lewis concept was failed to explain the shape of the molecules. So today in this video, we are going to study about the first and the simple theory which can able to explain the shape of the molecules. So without any delay, let's get started. So the first and the simple theory which can explain the shape of a molecule is VSEPR. Now what is the full form of VSEPR? The full form of VSEPR is valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. This is the full form of VSEPR, that is valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. Now this theory was put forward by two scientists, Sidgwick and Powell. This theory was put forward by Sidgwick and Powell. Sidgwick and Powell in 1940. This theory was put forward by Sidgwick and Powell in 1940, but this theory was improved by Nyholm and Gillespie in 1957. So this theory was put forward by Sidgwick and Powell in 1940, but this theory was improved by Nyholm and Gillespie in 1957. Now, what is the main concept of this theory is that the central atom is surrounded by the electrons, whether bond pair or lone pair. So central atom is surrounded by the electrons, and electrons repel each other. And in chemical bonding, the stability and the energy is inversely related to each other. If we have instability, it means energy is very high, and if we have stability, means energy is very low. And energy and repulsion are also related to each other. Repulsion means greater energy, attraction means lesser energy. So according to this theory, the electron pairs which are present around the central atom, they repel each other, and because of repulsion they move apart from each other and occupy a position in the space where the repulsion between the bond pair becomes minimum and the stability becomes maximum. So what is the main statement of this VSEPR theory? That the valence shell electron pairs, the electron pairs which are around the central atom, they repel each other. As a result of the repulsion, they move away from each other and occupy a fixed position in a space where they get the minimum repulsion and the maximum stability. And that fixed space represents the geometry of that particular molecule. So the statement is electron pairs around the central atom, they repel each other and move apart from each other and occupy a position in space where the repulsion is minimum and the stability is maximum. And that position in a space represent the shape or the geometry of the molecule. Geometry of the molecule. Clear? So this is the main statement of this theory, and on the basis of this statement, the postulates of this theory was developed. Now, what are the postulates of this theory? The first postulate is if there are two atoms in a molecule, if a molecule or a compound is made up of two atoms, then the shape is linear. Then the shape is linear. But if we have more than two atoms, then one atom act as a central pair. One atom behave as a central atom, while the other atoms are surrounded that central atom. And the concept of deciding the central atom was same as decided by the Lewis. Because according to Lewis, the central atom is the less electronegative atom, and according to VSEPR also, the central atom should be a less electronegative atom. So, if we have more than two atoms in a molecule, then one atom behave as a central atom, while other atoms surrounded that central atom. And if the central atom is surrounded by same type of atoms or all bond pairs. In our previous videos, we have studied that in a particular molecule, in a particular compound, we have bond pair as well as the lone pair. Though it is not necessary that in every compound we get lone pair, but if we have, then that the electrons which are not participated in the bond formation, they are known as lone pair. So, if the central atom is surrounded by same type of atoms or only bond pairs, then the repulsion between them is same. And the molecule acquire a definite geometry. So whenever the central atom is surrounded by only bond pairs, then the repulsion is same between all of them, and the molecule has a definite geometry. But if the central atom is surrounded by bond pair as well as the lone pair, then there is a difference in the repulsion between bond pair and bond pair lone pair. Now, why it is so? Suppose here is a bond. Here is one atom. Let us consider this point as one atom, and this is the bond. One electron here and one electron here. Now, suppose this is a lone pair. Of this atom. So, what happened? In this particular bond, one electron which is present here, it is in contact with the nucleus of this atom as well as this atom. So this is held by the two nucleus. The bond pair electrons are held by the two nucleus. But the lone pair is attracted by the nucleus of only one atom, because the other end of the lone pair is free to move. So what happened? Bond pairs are restricted in a limited area due to the force of attraction exerted by the two nucleus. But in lone pair, the force of attraction is exerted by only one nucleus. So they are spreaded in a wide area. As a result of which their force of repulsion becomes greater than the bond pair. Clear? In bond pair, the bond pair is restricted to a limited area due to the force of attraction exerted by the two nucleus. But the lone pair is spreaded in a wide area due to the force of attraction exerted by only one nucleus, because the other end is free to move. The other end is free to spread. So that's why the force of repulsion exerted by the lone pair is greater than that of the bond pair. So whenever a central atom is surrounded by lone pair as well as the bond pair, then there is different repulsions between bond pair, bond pair, bond pair, lone pair and lone pair, lone pair, as a result of which the molecule occupies space in the space, occupy positions in the space, and that position is known as distorted geometry. That is not the definite geometry, that is the distorted geometry due to the difference in the repulsion between the bond pair and the lone pair. So when central atom is surrounded by bond pair as well as lone pair, then the molecule exhibit distorted geometry. Clear? So whenever we have two atoms in a molecule, the shape is linear because one is here and one is here. But if we have more than two atoms, then one atom behaves as a central atom and other atoms are present around that particular central atom. If the central atom is surrounded by only bond pair, then there is equal amount of repulsion between all the bond pairs, as a result of which molecule occupy a definite geometry. But if the central atom is surrounded by bond pair as well as the lone pair, then the repulsion between the bond pair and bond pair lone pair is entirely different, and due to the difference in the repulsion, the molecule exhibit a distorted geometry. Then this theory also told us that in which case we get maximum repulsion and in which case we get minimum repulsion. Now suppose there are two friends and they are fighting with each other. Due to some reason they are fighting with each other. Suppose no one is there to stop them. So they'll fight with their maximum potential. Now suppose one friend is free to fight, and for the other friend there is someone who keep to calm that friend. So what happened? The friend which don't have any support, which is free to fight, that will fight with the maximum potential. But the friend for which there is a person who keep that friend calm, that will fight with little bit less potential. So what happens when both the friends are free to move? They will fight with the maximum potential because they are free to fight. But when one friend is not free to fight, then what happens? The potential of fight becomes less. And when both of them are not free to fight, when both of them have something which keep them to calm, then they'll fight with very less potential. So same thing happen here, that if the two electrons are free, when they are not participated in the bond, when they are in lone pair condition. So when the two adjacent electrons are free, means when the electrons of the atoms are free, when they behave as a lone pair, then the repulsion between them is maximum, because they want to spread themselves in a wider area, and for spreading in a wider area they try to repel the other electron away from each other. Now when suppose one is bond pair and another one is lone pair, so lone pair is free to spread, but the bond pair is not free to spread. So as a result of which there is less repulsion between the bond pair and the lone pair, and if both are bond pair, then there is the minimum repulsion. I hope it is clear to you. So the criteria of the repulsion. So the criteria of repulsion is the maximum repulsion we'll get in lone pair, then lone pair, bond pair, and then bond pair, bond. Clear? Because lone pair are free to spread themselves, but bond pair is not free. So lone pair maximum repulsion, then lone pair, and then bond pair, the minimum repulsion. And on the basis of these postulates, VACPR give us a table through which we get to know if the central atom is surrounded by this much amount of bond pairs or this much amount of bond pair and lone pair, then what is the geometry of that particular molecule. So now we'll study that table which was given by the VACPR theory. So we'll start with the molecule in which we have 3 atoms, because in 2 atoms we know that the shape is linear, the geometry is linear because no central atom is there. So we will start with the molecule in which we have 3 atoms and 2 electron pairs. So first, the total number of electron pair, let the total number of electron pair be 2. So the geometry of the electron pair should be like this. Here is the central atom, here is 1 electron, and here is the another electron pair. This is the maximum distance they can go. Suppose if it is like this, so it will move like this and it will move like this. This is the maximum distance they will move away from each other. Means at this point they have the minimum repulsion and the maximum stability. And the angle is 180 degree. Here the angle is 180 degree. Now, if we have 2 bond pair and 0 lone pair, then the geometry of the molecule becomes similar to the geometry of the electron pair. So it is like this only, here and here. And if I write one example, for example, if I write the shape of carbon dioxide, so it is like this: C double bond O double bond O. Clear? Here the double bond is there, but these are all only bond pairs. And we are considering this bond pair as one bond pair. Clear? VACPR considered the double bond as a single covalent bond. So double bond, and the shape is similar to that of the geometry of the electron pair, and the name of this geometry is linear. And because carbon is surrounded by oxygen and only bond pair, therefore linear is the definite geometry of the molecule. Now next, let us consider the total number of electron pairs be 3. So the geometry of electron pair be like this. They occupy the triangular position where they have angle of 120 degree. Means this is the maximum angle at which they can arrange themselves to get the minimum repulsion. Now suppose if I have 3 bond pair and 0 lone pair. Then the geometry of the molecule is similar to the geometry of the electron pair because all are bond pairs. So it is like this. Bond angle is 120 degree. And if I write the example BF3, B, here 1F, here 1F, here 1F, and the bond angle is 120 degree. But if I have 2 bond pair and 1 lone pair, around the central atom, then the repulsion around the central atom becomes different, as a result of which the geometry becomes distorted. And here it becomes here is the lone pair, and here these are bond pair. But in this case, the bond angle is less than 120 degree. The bond angle is less than 120 degree. Why? Because here we have bond pair, bond pair, bond pair, bond pair repulsion. Here we have bond pair, lone pair, and bond pair, lone pair repulsion. So this lone pair try to keep the bond pairs together. Means from here this lone pair shift this bond pair downward, and from this side this lone pair shift this bond pair downward, as a result of which they move towards each other, as a result of which bond angle decreases. Suppose these are the bond angles. Suppose these two are the bond angle, and these two are the bond angle, and here is the lone pair. So this lone pair push this bond pair as well as this bond pair because of the lone pair, bond pair, lone pair, bond pair repulsion, as a result of which the bond angle decreases. So in this case the bond angle is less than 120 degree. And if I write the example here, the example is NO2 with a lone pair. This is the example. Now next, if I consider total number of electron pair be 4. So the geometry of the electron pair is tetrahedral. The geometry is tetrahedral. Now it is a 3D structure. How? Here is the central atom. Now here are the two bond pairs which is in the board. Suppose let us consider this atom in the board. So these two bond pairs are also in the board. Now this bond pair is above the board, and this bond pair is below the board. Clear? Means suppose here I have a central atom. So one atom is like this, another atom is like this, but one atom is outside, means towards you, and the another atom is backward. Not opposite but backward. So this is outside the board, and this one is inside the board. And here the bond angle is 109.5 degree. Here the bond angle is 109.5 degree. Now suppose if we have 4 bond pair and 0 lone pair, then the geometry of the molecule is similar to the geometry of the electron pair, and that is tetrahedral. This geometry is known as triangular planar. This one is bent, and the next one, this one is tetrahedral, like this. Tetrahedral. And if I write the example, the most common example is methane. See, 2 hydrogen are in the board, 1 hydrogen is above the board, and 1 hydrogen is below the board. But the bond angle is not 180 degree, bond angle is 109 degree. Now suppose if I have 3 bond pair and 1 lone pair. If I have 3 bond pair and 1 lone pair, then what happens? There is difference in the repulsion, as a result of which the molecule exhibit distorted geometry, and the name of that geometry is pyramidal. In which this is the central atom, here the lone pair, here the different bond pairs. So this is pyramidal. This one is like a pyramid. And in this, the bond angle is less than 109.5 degree. And if I write the example, the common example is ammonia. NH3. Ammonia. And if I have 2 bond pair and 2 lone pair, if I have two bond pair and two lone pair, then again there is a more repulsion, because now I have two lone pairs, so there is a repulsion between lone pair also, and we studied that the repulsion in lone pair is maximum. So here is the central atom, here is one bond pair, here is another bond pair, another lone pair, bond pair and bond pair. So in this case, there is a repulsion between lone pair, lone pair, bond pair and bond pair, bond pair. We get all three repulsion in this molecule. So as a result of lone pair repulsion, the bond angle is still smaller than this one. Means the bond angle of this is smaller than this one, but the bond angle of this is more smaller than this one also. And the example is water. Example is water molecule. Water molecule. So this is pyramidal. This shape is tetrahedral. This shape is tetrahedral. This shape is pyramidal, and this shape is bent. This shape is bent. So our definite geometry are linear, triangular, planar and tetrahedral when we have 2, 3 and 4 bond pairs, and our distorted geometry are bent, pyramidal and bent. Now what is the difference between these two bent? In this bent we have only one lone pair and two bond pair. In this bent we have two bond pair, but we have two lone pairs also. So this is the difference between these two bend, as a result of which there is a difference in the bond angle also. Now if we have 5 total number of electron pairs, then what is the geometry? If we have 5 number of electron pairs, then the geometry of the electron pair is triangular bipyramidal. It's triangular bipyramidal. Here is the central atom. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So like this. So it is a triangular bipyramidal. Here is the triangle, and these two are above and below. Means these two are not in the board. These two bonds are not in the board. These two bonds are above and below. Means this bond is towards you and the lower one is away from you. Now, if we have 5 bond pair and 0 lone pair, then the geometry of the molecule is similar to that of the electron pair. Electron pair, it means here is the central atom. 3 bond pair are arranged in triangle. 1 bond pair above the board and another bond pair below the board. And if I take write one example, then PCl5, P, 3 chlorine are at the corner of the triangle, 1 chlorine above the plane and 1 chlorine below the plane. And if I talk about the angle, the angle between the triangular plane, is 120 degree and this plane is 90 degree. So we have two different angles. One is triangle, means suppose I am drawing triangle in this plane, so 120 degree, and another one like this, means with my hand this is making 90 degree angle. So above the plane and below the plane, and 3 triangles are here. So this is triangular bipyramidal. Now if we have 4 electron as a bond pair and 1 as a lone pair, then the bond pair which is on the base, that is removed. So it becomes like this. Here is the central atom, 1 lone pair, then bond pair, bond pair, bond pair and bond pair. And this distorted geometry is known as seesaw. You played seesaw? So the geometry is look like a seesaw. And if I write an example of this, the example is SF4. 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 Now I think seesaw is visible to you. So it's not like this, it's just a tilted one, little bit like this due to the repulsion, not straight one, but not so much tilted. Like this. Clear? The distorted geometry is known as seesaw. Now if we have 3 bond pairs and 2 lone pairs, if we have 3 bond pairs and 2 lone pairs, then what happens? Our distorted geometry becomes T-shaped. Our distorted geometry becomes T-shaped. Here one lone pair, here another lone pair, bond pair, bond pair and bond pair. So it look like a T structure. That's why it becomes T-shaped. That's why it becomes T-shaped. And if I write the example ClF3, ClF3 here and 2 lone pair. When we have 2 bond pair and 3 lone pair, then we get a linear geometry. We get a linear geometry because here one lone pair, here is the central atom, here one lone pair, here one lone pair, here one lone pair, here one bond pair and here one bond pair. So it becomes linear. And if I write the example, here, the example becomes XeF2. XeF, one lone pair and one lone pair. So if we have 5 total number of electrons, then the definite geometry becomes triangular bipyramidal, but the distorted geometry becomes seesaw, T-shaped and linear. If we have 6 total number of electron pairs, then the geometry of the electron pairs becomes octahedral. Octahedral, which is also known as square bipyramidal. This is the central atom. Now here one lone pair, here another lone pair, here another lone pair, here another lone pair in the form of a square. And then one above the plane and one below the plane. Means one towards you and one away from the you. So if the bond pair is 6 and the lone pair is 0, then the geometry is same and it is known as square bipyramidal. It is known as square bipyramidal. Above the plane and below the plane. And if I write the example is SF6. Example is SF6 and here the bond angle is 90 degree. In the plane as well as above and below, the bond angle is, all the bond angles are 90 degree. All the bond angles are 90 degree. If we have 5 bond pair and 1 lone pair, then the shape becomes distorted and that is known as distorted octahedral or square pyramidal. Square pyramidal means here we get the central atom, then bond pair, bond pair, bond pair, bond pair, here one lone pair and here is the bond pair. So that's why it becomes square pyramidal. That's why it becomes square pyramidal, because this one is either above the plane or below the plane. Now if I write the example is ClF5. ClF5. It's not necessary that you will write F downward. You can write F upward and lone pair downward. Now next, if I have 4 bond pairs and 2 lone pair, then the shape becomes square planar. Here is the central atom. Here one bond pair, here another bond pair, here another bond pair, here another bond pair. It forms square and one lone pair and another lone pair. So if I write the example, it is XeF4. XeF4, above the plane and below the plane lone pair. So this is square bipyramidal, which is also known as octahedral. This is square pyramidal, which is known as distorted octahedral, and this one is square planar. So this is the definite geometry and these two are the distorted geometry. So in this way, VACPR give a table through which we get to know that in how many bond pairs and how many lone pairs we get which type of geometry, either definite or distorted. But VACPR also had a number of limitation, as a result of which number of theories have been discovered after VACPR. We'll study those theories in our next video.